Phone 876-952-6109. The time by Advantage Auto Parts is
8:32. And guess what I'm checking out right now, making way for the bus.
Deuce, 3.
See you next week Monday night at 11. We do it again for you. You take care, have a wonderful weekend and stay safe.
Said the Olympians them out. All about representing Jamaican Olympians. So, stepping at the place with the champions. I saw them a got no woman a champion. No for hype and a talk about name brand. Jamaica and no name brand, we are the main brand. Elaine Thompson, she a champ from birth. No lazy this a so the Shelly and Burke. In a wamp, the champion shirt. Sharika now is in concert. Only thing of that, none of them never know what's so Elaine she quick. Some of them never know what's so the Shelly and fit. Like Muhammad Ali, Sharika so quick. On a champion trip for the championship. Stepping at the place with the champions. I saw them a got no woman a champion. No for hype and a talk about name brand. Shelly and no name brand, she a the main brand. In a the place with the champions. I saw them a got no woman a champion. No for hype and a
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is the Entertainment Buzz.
Hear me told ya.
Yo, yo, yo.
what them say? Up to the buzz. We don't know. The buzz.
You know how we roll.
This is the Entertainment Buzz. Further on in the buzz.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
Sky, are you? All the respect them eyes up. Like a flag. Hear me now? So bout it. Dig it way.
Entertainment Buzz are the real thing, man. Sight.
And now, our feature presentation.
Yes, sir. We want to say a very special welcome to the EBUZZ. I'm DJ Bones.
And I'm Kishima Francis. I want to say big up to our listeners locally and internationally, wherever you are. It is the EBUZZ.
It definitely is. We want to say a very special good evening to our friends on social media. Follow us on Instagram, IRIFM_JA, Twitter, IRI_FM, and also feel free to join us on Facebook at just simply IRIFM. If you're just joining us, we're very happy to have you. We're here with you. I thought that I was a hot boy. I really was. Somebody said to me, Bones,
So what happened?
We find out that the AC in here now work. So me literally hot.
You're bun up.
Me a bun up. Oh, no need to fix
Bones,
the
you
AC.
you actually, if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't know because you really look cool.
Can I be honest with you? My darling
Yes.
Jody has been mopping my face like crazy. In here, hot. Jody, thank you, darling. And say, Jody, I come back. You know, mop my face again. Hot,
So, I
man.
mean, she will just dab throughout the
Ye-
show
yes,
to ensure
no.
that you're staying
We're
cool.
going to see if we can make an alternate arrangement where we probably go to a because this place is just too hot. I thought I was the hot boy, but everybody a bun up. And then Peter, him brave, coming in a long sleeve and what?
I say, or him playing it cool.
He's playing it cool. He's so cool. Peter, I want to be like you when I grow up. What an interesting show we got coming up. Jacure, I think, is a big talk right now in terms of his arrest in the Netherlands pertaining to I think there was a situation with a stabbing. A show promoter was stabbed. I don't know the exact details of how that happened. We only hear. What are you hearing?
What we can tell you is that Jacure will spend his 43rd birthday in a police detention center.
Yeah.
Now, following his court appearance on Tuesday, he turns 43 October 11. So apparently he will remain in the detention center for 14 days while the police investigation continues. Reports, the backdrop, are that during an altercation, Jacure allegedly stabbed Nicardo Papa Blake, the head of Roots Vibes Promotion, who was reportedly instrumental in getting the Grammy-nominated artist a booking in the European country. We actually have a connect in the Netherlands, Bones.
Yep.
And information that we're getting is that Jacure, he's facing charges of suspicion of attempted murder, attempted manslaughter, aggravated assault, or attempted aggravated assault. Our source in Amsterdam confirms that if convicted for attempted murder, Jacure could get up to 20 years,
20 years
in prison.
Because
right.
We also understand that the Netherlands has the strictest sentencing guidelines when it comes to things like murder, because normally you'll serve a life sentence, which would be the maximum, but there's no possibility of parole in the Netherlands. And of course, this is being dubbed as probably an attempted murder, so maximum will be 20 years for that too. So we don't know. When the investigation is finished.
It is a crazy situation. The Connect in the Netherlands also says that they are taking into consideration, like his previous running with the law, and prosecutors really want to keep him in lockup. We also understand that he could spend up to 90 days in lockup without bail as the investigations continue.
And like everything else, the authorities in the Netherlands are going to do their due diligence on you. And so, the other crime that he was jailed for years ago, that is not going to make it any easier for him. And of course, other, little altercations here, they're going to find out if he's a angry person, or he's into fights, or he's into, and those things are going to add on to his legal woes in the Netherlands.
And that situation, 14 years later, like he in his song, he wailed about behind these prison walls, and 14 years later, he is back again.
Boy, I don't know.
But this time on foreign soil.
Which actually makes it more difficult for him over there. So,
absolutely. Which is why we're going to be going into our discussion a little later, Bones, on the backdrop of the entire Jacure saga. Yeah. Just, should entertainers manage themselves and zeroing on the importance of a manager, because some of these situations could have been avoided. If there is a management team. I'm sure before the manager gets into a stabbing scenario, there are,
because
things to be considered.
Because basically, not to preempt the discussion, but if he had a manager who was doing the collection of the funds and contractual arrangements, all Jacure would be focusing on is to deliver an awesome performance.
Deliver an awesome performance. Yeah. If there are any breach of the contract, there is a way how to deal with that. You don't just go start stabbing people. You take the legal process.
Yep. And that is going to be quite an interesting thing to talk about in terms of, should artists really manage themselves? I always think not. They really shouldn't. But let us see how Jacure's legal woes pan out as the investigation goes through, and if he's convicted or not. Let us see. Another interesting one, Richie Stephens. Wow. Yeah, Richie, my brethren, but boy, this one is a rough one, because did you watch the video of the Chinese, the lady from, I think she's Chinese or Asian?
Elaine Lim. I watched her video. Yes, I watched her video.
Your thoughts on it?
The latest update to that situation is, despite the Australian police confirming that Richie Stephens' rape case has been closed, Elaine Lim is vowing to continue her fight. So she's actually a former soldier in the Singapore Armed Forces.
Yes.
And she says that she's contemplating her next move. Of course, her alias is General Ling. That is how people call her. So she is adamant, to get justice. And like she said, she know what happened on that day. Richie, in a video he posted on social media, I'm sure you've seen his video as well. So he's basically dismissing the claims that he raped the woman. And in the video, he also calls her claims baseless.
Right.
But her video, she delivered an emotionally...
It was emotional. Richie refuted it, saying that
detailed,
he said that she is a professional editor, and she is a stage she put on, so a performance, so to speak. It was a good performance, whatever she did. It was. She
did tell her tale.
She did.
She's not giving up.
No.
So let us see what happens. This too is another big story, a big situation, a big conversation to see what happens and how it plays out.
Right. Prayers up for both. Let us, justice will prevail. And of course, new film on Marcus Garvey to air during Heritage Week. That's awesome.
Tell us about that.
So the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, Olivia Grange, has announced that Jamaicans will be able to view a new film on the life of national hero Marcus Garvey during National Heritage Week. Heritage Week is being observed from Sunday, October 10 to Heroes Day, and Monday, October 18, under the theme Saluting Our Heroes and Safeguarding Our Legacy. We're looking forward to that, and it's going to be will air on TVJ and PBCJ. Also, the award-winning Jamaican-born filmmaker Roy T. Anderson has consented to the airing of the film on the national hero through collaboration with the ministry. So this is a big deal also. And I like all these new little initiatives that are coming up all over Jamaica, and of course. And I think I also love what is happening with our digital age. They're just digitizing everything. People are getting modern, getting hip. And we're looking forward to seeing this film. And of course, Heroes Weekend comes up in this month. So
yes, definitely. So, you know, like I say, it's a good look all in all.
Definitely a good look. So I tell you. We have also Karen Smith.
I understand a Thanksgiving service was held today.
Yeah.
And, you know, Miss Smith, she was a former president of the Jamaica Federation of Musicians and Affiliates Union, JFMAU, and she passed away on September 11 after losing a year-long battle with colon cancer. So again, condolences to the family and friends of Karen Smith.
It's so hurtful that she passed. I mean, she was very close to my family. Karen Smith's mother is Barbara Smith. She was the principal of the Montego Bay High School in Montego Bay, worked with my mother also. And Karen was close to us. And of course, her husband, Sir Jackson, who was also very close to the family. So it's really sad. But we miss her. She really contributed a lot to the music, and
absolutely
such a songbird, such a cheerful person all the time. So condolences once again to Jackie.
And her smile is just always captivating and bright.
Infectious, I call her. Since she always
nice.
No,
absolutely.
Love to giggle. So, you know, condolences.
All right. So on that note, Bones, we're going to go to our social media highs and lows. And when we come back, we jump right into the discussion.
All right. So
here
we're
is Tristan Wilson and Shanice Williams.
Here we go.
It's now time for social media and lows.
Girl, you know so I want on social media. Yeah, girl, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's your social media highs and lows.
Like I hate the other day, them find something new for try. Them no mention my name, them no feel them not alive.
This and every Wednesday we've got the online buzz. I'm Tris.
And I'm Shanice.
So let's jump right into the highs for this week. The unruly boss Popcorn is on a high after appearing on 4 new tracks in the last couple days. Now, in addition to dropping his first single from his upcoming album, the 33-year-old was featured on a collaboration with rapper Capella Gray, along with R&B star Chris Brown, and then another with fellow Jamaican Skip Marley. The DJ also appeared on the intro track of rapper Meek Mill's new album, which was released on Friday. The new single, Superior, was produced by Andrew Blacks of Black State Music and Popcorn's own record label. Superior arrived with visuals directed by Jeezy, offering an up-close and personal biopic of the dancehall DJ. The video had scenes of his life in his hometown of Jamaica flickering across the screen, as well as news clippings of him making the headlines for some not-so-proud moments. After that, the news clippings switched gear to highlight the positives and highs of his career, because after all, he is superior. The upcoming album, which is still untitled, will be Popcorn's 5th studio project following his 2020 fixtape, and this is expected to be released later this year.
So, in the lows for this week, the global outage of social media platforms, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. Now, all 3 platforms were down on Monday. The outage lasted more than 7 hours, but came back online in the evening, and it's like the world didn't know how to act during the time that they were down. 1 minute you're trying to send a message or upload some content, and the next minute nothing is happening. You start to wonder if your internet is working or your service provider is just playing games with you. The amount of times I refreshed my pages, restarted my phone, or even switched between Wi-Fi and data, not gonna lie, it was a stressing situation. Twitter though, which is usually neglected and not used as much when the other platforms are up, however, got a chance to shine on Monday. iPhone users too had the privilege of using iMessage since WhatsApp was down. And of course, Telegram and Snapchat, including TikTok, had a chance to shine as well. And of course, you know, the internet is undefeated when it comes down to these things. The memes were hilarious and out of this world. One person said, I didn't realize how addicted I was to Instagram till Instagram went down. Another said, Instagram had me talking to my granny all day. Now me find out, through my cousin them and a real my cousin. Another person said, imagine Western Union tell you that your MTCN number is wrong. The WhatsApp, IG and Facebook down and you don't have any credit to call the person to ask them to resend the number. Imagine that. But you know, with technology, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I just hope that this doesn't happen again anytime soon.
So from the Unruly Boss's new single
to the global outage of social media platforms,
who do you think took social media this week?
While that's for another conversation, check it before you click it, because once you hit send, you may be a social media high or low.
And that's your social media highs and lows. Catch us next Wednesday for What's Buzzing.
I'm Shanice.
And I'm Tris. Bye!
All right.
All right. Thank you there, Shanice and Tris.
Social media highs and lows with Shanice Williams and Trisan Wilson. You know, definitely that lockdown of those three platforms, which would be WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook to an extent, that was a big low. I mean, you realize how much people depend
on the platforms. Yeah,
very much so.
Were you, I know you're not really big on social media platforms, but you still use the mediums. Were you affected?
The only one that really affected me was really WhatsApp. You know, we use WhatsApp a lot.
Because I sent you a message, and I know you probably didn't get it until...
I didn't get a message till... but
probably the next day.
I was cussing. I was there saying, you know, I was in a restaurant in Kingston. I think right where I was, that's the time it went down. And I'm there saying, hopefully the Wi-Fi shady so it does not work properly. I mean, I cussed them, you know. And the man said, no, everything popped out. I said, no, man, there's no Wi-Fi. But I realized when I left...
How many times did you restart your phone?
About 5 times.
I did too. I restarted my phone several times. I'm like, what? Nothing is going on.
Nothing
and then,
is working. Nothing.
It hit.
So...
Well, I think it also showed us that, you know, we are really dependent on these platforms.
I realized that sometimes... when these things go, like when these three platforms had their technical issue, I realized that you can do other things. I realized that because normally you'd always be reaching for your phone to check something. When I realized those platforms were not working, I realized I now had to call people up. I said, a message you are not getting you, I had to pick up the phone and call them. I couldn't even call them on WhatsApp because the WhatsApp not working. So you call them, and so there was an advantage of it to me. In certain ways. But
and I think with like they mentioned in the social media highs and lows, that one person who was forced to have a conversation with her granny, you know, for the entire day. iPhone users went to iMessage, iMessenger, and, you know, just continued the conversation and the communication. But happy it's back up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's back up 100%. I heard that the services were coming on gradually, but mine is good. You know, everything seems to be working so far. So, but let's get into our discussion, eh?
Right. So we're saying now, on the heels of what transpired with Jacure, and of course, Jacure is not the only entertainer who has gotten into hot water with the law, but now the backdrop is with his current situation. Should entertainers manage themselves and basically just zeroing in on the importance of a manager? Like we highlighted earlier, Bones, if in the Jacure situation, if he had a manager to sort of deal with communicating directly with the promoter, working out some kinks, there is a likelihood that he would not be in the situation that he's in. Do you believe that entertainers should manage themselves, or is a manager vital?
A manager is not just vital. A manager is crucial for the execution for the artist to perform at his optimum. You have a lot of these artists, when you ask them if they have a manager, they'll tell you, I manage myself. No, proudly. And I don't think it is good to know all aspects of the business, but you can't micromanage the business. So you are your own booking agent. You're your own stylist. You're your own book. You know, when you're negotiating a contract, then you are collecting the money and you are doing all of these things. And on top of that, you also have to go out there and give a good performance. These things, it is good to know the overview of the business, but you need a manager now to do other things for you. Meaning, you know, your rider, your payment, your hotel, all these things are a lot for an artist to be handling also to do a performance. So I think no artist should be a one-man show. He should never try to do everything by himself.
And especially if the aim is to attain real success, because in truth, in order to activate the highest level of success, you need a team, you need a solid team, you need a manager, you need a stylist, you need all these other persons, a social media specialist as well, because sometimes that prevents you from getting into altercation via the online medium with a fan who may say something that rubs you the wrong way. So a manager is somewhat that filter, that interface between you and the persons that are conducting business with your brand. So yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but ever so often, Bones, like we mentioned, on this very platform, people will come on and say, no, I don't have a manager. I'm doing it by myself, and I'm bringing in my friends into it, somebody that you grew up with. In some instances and cases, it will work if the persons that you grew up with learn the business and understand it to a level to propel you to activate the next stage of your career.
What you just said is extremely important. And as to the part of having your friends being your manager or part of your team, there has to be a clear line that they understand the difference between the friendship and the business. And sometimes when you have your friends doing that, those lines get crossed constantly. And when you're supposed to do something, you know, sometimes you really have to understand that, look here, we're doing this as a business. Yeah, I'm a brethren. And sometimes also, this is why the manager is so important. Sometimes, and I've done shows where the artist and the promoter are very good friends. So sometimes they don't pay them the way they're supposed to pay them. Yeah, man, we can work out a thing. I always said to them, if you have people to pay, meaning your road manager, your band members, your backup singers, depending on the crew that you bring with you, you need to ensure that the money is collected. Now, if you and the promoter is brethren, and you know he can delay paying you, everybody else suffers because of your payment not coming in on time or delayed. So you need that manager to come in and say, listen, we represent this team, so the money needs to be collected. And so many things that the manager needs to be doing. The artist needs to focus on the artistry of the job, meaning to go up there and deliver.
Talk to me, Bones, in the capacity of a promoter, because you have, you know, staged events.
Yes.
Do you find that it is easier to communicate with the artist as it relates to the business side of it in terms of payment, start time, arrival time of the show, and so forth, as opposed to having same conversation with the manager?
All right. I have found that there's differences in terms of the relationship. We're on radio. We're always very connected with the artist, the talent. So you'll have a rapport with them because they're always giving you music to play and they're always telling you their plans and so on. When it comes to business of putting on an event now, you see, this is why the manager is so important. Sometimes these artists don't remember what they tell you. Say, yeah, man, put me on the show, bill me, start promote me. And he doesn't remember that he told you to put him on. And then he goes again and he takes another event. And this is why when they are trying to manage themselves, sometimes the memory and the things are not documented properly, and then you're in a problem. So when we do the stage show, it is always easier to deal with the manager. The manager will just get the artists together. He'll say, artist ready. I don't deal with the artist, I deal with the manager. The manager comes on, we're ready, we perform, we pay him, and he does the rest. So the manager
and there is also this notion where some entertainers will feel like, I have been burnt by managers in the past, so as a result, I am now going to take my career in my own hands and manage myself. Is that the right thinking or frame of mind? Because you have been burnt, then you're going to take this drastic action to do it by yourself. It may be working in the interim, like, you start out, you already have a name, you're getting your bookings and things are going according to plan. But is that a bit drastic, you think, Bones? And they shouldn't allow one bad situation to cause them to be so extreme?
It's just like a car accident. You drive and you crash, right? But you realize you need to be able to move around. You either fix up back the car and you drive again. This is how you have to look at it this way. And when you say they get burnt, it depends on the degree burn they get. Some of them get a first degree burn, a second degree burn. And, people's temperament with disappointments or betrayal by management, it affects them differently. But I tell you something, if you want to really get burned, try to manage yourself all the time. You will get burned because you're going to lose out on something because you cannot manage everything. I do believe that there has to be a strong trust between management and artist and a good camaraderie. And you must know the person that you're dealing with. And I do believe that if that is happening, I think you will have a good chemistry to have a good management team. But I don't believe that you should not go without a manager. It's very, not care how you get burned. You see people go to the gambling house all the while and lose a bag of money. Then go right back in the same way if you try to win it back. So they get burned, but they wash themselves off and they go back. So, I think that management is essential and people need to get their management in order. Proper contracts and all of that.
And finally, before we move on, in some organizations, they will have that formal interview process where, a manager will come in and they'll be interviewed for the job. Right. Does that even happen in the entertainment world, in the entertainment circuit? Or is it just an investor who is willing to spend some money here, invest in your career, and then automatically they become your manager, as opposed to having an investor, creating a team, streamline, strategize, and look at the way forward and how and what you're going to do to propel you to success? Do you feel that this lack of a structure hurts the process, or entertainers should actually interview managers for the position and state clearly what their expectations are?
It's very important. That formal process that you speak of, I don't think that happens very often.
Or ever.
Or at all. As I say, I think it comes down to the matter of chemistry and the trust and the vibe in terms of, that is important in terms of how well you will work together. Because you may have somebody who knows the management plan to a T, but they just don't get along because either they're too rigid or you can't work with them because they're unfriendly. They know the job, but they can't execute it because there's something about their personality that doesn't make the artist feel comfortable to do what he needs to do. They need to also understand the difference between an investor and a manager. It's not the same thing. A man spends some money, pay some studio time for you, or maybe do an album. The man who is spending the money on you, especially with your productions and so on, that is the executive producer, not the manager. Manager is somebody who is going to have a strategy of how to propel your career, maybe how to image you, how to package you properly, sort out the kind of demographic that you're kind of aiming for. What, are you a reggae artist, a dancehall artist, how you sound, how you look, and all of these things. And of course, have your what you call finances and your overall business is in his care. An investor is just a man who's spending some money and hopefully looking at return on his money. Most times they don't.
Hopefully looking a return on his money, which is crucial and key, and that is where relationships people will sever ties in relationships because they feel like, okay, you robbed me, when it is no, this is my investment.
They're just not learned in the titles. And this is another thing we're asking entertainers to do, is learn the different people in your team and what their job is. And so you'll know how to operate, make informed decisions, how your manager works with you, who does what, and you understand that. If, yes, you are the talent and, a lot of, you're the star, as they would say, but these people help to mold you and get you to the best in your game. So you need to work together. It's not a boss thing, it's a team. And once you can get that going, I don't think you'll have a problem.
On Facebook, singer Iris says most artists looking help so they don't have that power. But when the artist get big and have his own money, then him or her manager always have to work hand in hand.
Well, I tell you something. And moods and personalities change. We all know that artists are known to have egos. And I tell you something. When their money turn up or the money gets a lot, their egos also turn up. And after a while, you can't tell them nothing because they know everything. So sometimes that has to be kept in check. They need to be able, the more your money turn up is the more you need to be able, extra vigilant, extra streamline your things so that that money doesn't go to waste from hype and so on. So I think that artists, the artists just need to be able to stay in their lane, focus on the artistry, but also know all the jobs. I mean, know the business, but they don't need to be able to manage all of the business. They just can't do it. It's just too many things to do.
Not practical, and it will steer you from success.
Right.
All right. So that's putting the cap on the discussion. I think we left no stone unturned there.
No, I don't think so. I think every stone turned over.
Nailed it.
Nailed it up. Yeah. So. Woo! What else we got?
We're getting ready now for our music artist. Of course, you know, week after week, we create a platform right here on the EBUZZ for upcoming talent. And this week, our music artist is Glamaton.
Let us see. Are we getting, I think we're trying to get Glamaton on our Zoom connection here. So we're going to be trying
So, you know what? I think while we wait for Glamaton, we should just go to At the Movies with Maisha Browdy.
Just like that.
Lights, camera, action. Hey movie lovers, welcome to At the Movies. I'm Maisha Browdy. Squid Game. If you haven't heard this name in the last 3 days, I am afraid to break it to you, but you may be living under a rock. Squid Game is a Korean drama series which has many viewers around the world glued to their screens. It has been the talk of the town, with many social media users sharing snippets of their favorite scenes and sparking debate. But sadly, unless you speak Korean, what you believe happened in the drama series may not be so. According to the BBC, Squid Game's botched subtitles have changed the show's meaning for English-speaking viewers. The Korean language drama is about an alternative world where people in debt compete in deadly games. But some fluent Korean speakers claim the closed caption subtitles in English are so bad that the original meaning is often lost. The series has proved hugely popular since its release last month and is on track to beat Richardson to become Netflix's biggest original series. The plot sees a group of people tempted into a survival game where they have the chance to walk away with 45.6 billion Korean won if they win a series of 6 games. If they lose, they die. Still on the movie scene, in just 2 days, the long-awaited spy film and the 25th installment in the James Bond series, No Time to Die, will premiere in local cinemas. The movie, scenes of which were filmed in Jamaica, will become available in the country on October 8. The film, starring Daniel Craig as James Bond, has been praised by most critics, with many giving it 5-star reviews. It's now time for this week's top 5 movies. At number 5 we have Vacation Friends. At number 4 this week is Kate. Free Guy takes the number 3 spot. At number 2 we have The Last Mercenary. And in the number 1 spot this week is the Netflix series Squid Game. If you love great movies and series, go ahead and add these to your watch list. But if you're venturing out to cinemas to watch some of these and more, don't forget that safety is important. So here is a safety tip. Practice social distancing. That's a wrap. Join us next week for more exciting movie news. For At the Movies, I'm Maisha Browdy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maisha Browdy, with At the Movies. And of course, as we just said, every week we provide a platform for talent. And of course, it's not necessarily new, but they're trying to get themselves established. And we have a very talented brother based out of the Cayman Islands. I want to know how him get this name, because boy, this name, Glamaton is our music artist this week. Let us just make sure that Glamaton can hear us. Can you hear us, Glamaton?
Yes, definitely.
Glamaton. What you doing, brother?
Welcome,
you good?
welcome, Glamaton.
Respect, my brother.
How are you,
Kashima,
sir?
big up yourself.
Yeah, big up yourself too.
Tell us the name, Glamaton. How did that name come about?
You know, sir, Kashima, if you ask me that question, because I don't want to tell you.
All right.
All right.
Go on,
I
Kashima.
am anxious to know too
But
how
I'm
you
back.
got the name Glamaton. What's the story behind this name?
Very simple, call me Shima. When me meet a nice girl and she have the glamour, there's some tan, so me get the name Glamour.
Oh, all right. You're right. I know me if you ask you.
I didn't see that coming.
I did.
Okay. All right, Glamaton.
I like the
All right.
so and they say you're tan, so Glamaton. Okay, boy, you're not
Tan.
easy.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, sir. All right, give us a
No,
little
what
bit.
sparked your musical?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Glamaton. We're going to ask you. Tell us a little bit about your musical journey, how you started, and who are some of the people who inspired you, and how would you best describe your musical style?
Yes. My music journey now, it started from school days, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But as a youth growing up in a St. Elizabeth now, up a Warminster district, where GT Taylor is from,
Yes.
where my daddy,
Yes.
you know.
I didn't know you had a
being
son.
around-
Wow. I didn't know GT had a
Huh?
son. I didn't know he had a son like of your age.
Yeah, big son, you know. Yeah. And being around GT, you know, over the years, and GT brother have a son as well, and you know,
Yes.
me also play with it around the sound and stuff like that, and you know, me always be a youth where always have vibes and energy youth from school days with concert and them something there. So you know, me continue start dealing with the music thing there, and me go on so till me start write my own community lyrics them, so till me start propel and get more established, you know, me start to go on GT show them and different shows is around St. Elizabeth, and you name it, me established till me reach Manchester, till me reach to Clarendon, till me reach a Sting.
Oh.
You know?
Wow.
And now you're in the Cayman Islands. Is it challenging, you know, doing the music in Cayman and then, you know, getting Jamaica trying to get that break in Jamaica?
Well, back then, you know, I would say 15 years ago, it was hard. But now with social media, you know, and you know, you have good people like Bones, and you have GT, and you have other good people who know good music and play good music, you know.
Same.
So with the help of good people there, listening to the Glamaton good music, and say, all right, that music is a good song to go on road, so them put the energy in it and give me some strength, and me appreciate it a million, you know.
Glamaton, what are you promoting now? I know there's a song that I see that you're promoting how it would be Negativity. Tell us about that song.
Well, Negativity is a song now. I mean, I just life I living. You know, just I observe the way the world around, you know, and see how things are going, and me just sit down and relax, and you know, my brain me say, you know, me need a new song for the road now, and then after Jamaican slang start run the place, and I say, all right, it look like Jamaican slang, I reach where to reach, so I need something else. So I go back in the brain box and I start thinking about it, and I say, when I pray, you have some songs, no disrespect to none of the artists, but you have some songs out there where you know have that hitch and that catch there. But when the song touch YouTube and Facebook, you get 1 million views. And then the song when me think should have be 1 million views, only get 10. So I say, all right, a negativity around the world, you know? The positivity I get pushed aside, and the negativity I go on, and from there I just put words together and say, all right, I hit this. Call me engineer and say, Keezy, rhythm, song big, ready, mash up the world. Negativity I hit around the world right now.
Glamaton, you know, listening to you speak, you know, like you mentioned, the handful of good people who give you that support. You also created this song that you're talking about called Negativity, because in your estimation, when you look at it, you see where negativity around the world, but then you just create a song highlighting that the music industry in itself can be, you know, very challenging and discouraging at times. what motivates you to keep going?
Well, Kashima, the music industry right now, it's a crab in a barrel world, I must say. You know, it's just that to have few good people out there who still appreciate good music and still show love to people who want to reach out there, you know what I mean? So we have to give thanks to those people. But yes, the music industry for me now, it's really a challenging road. It's not easy at all. But I always grew up knowing this: a quitter will never win, and a winner will never quit. So Glamaton no plan for quit. So me guarantee me going to win.
When you put a song together in studio, and I don't know if you can describe the feeling for people out there who probably don't understand. I've seen people say that they have spent a lot of money in music in terms of production, promotion, and so on. They never get what they want to get out of the music, but they never stop. Why do they not stop?
Because it's the love of the music. You see, some people join the music for this hype and this quick money and flossing. While you have some people join the music because of the love of the music. Once music in your blood, you know, you're not going to stop the music, you know. You lose 10 million, you still are going with another 10 or another 20 if you have it. Because it's just the love of the music. You know, it's not about the hype.
And
Earlier, you also mentioned that, you know, being in Cayman and having access to social media, it makes it a lot easier for you. Talk to us about your views on the platform, because even having a song called Negativity and how you view things, the platform itself can be negative and positive alike. But share with us how you use these spaces to your advantage.
Well, I wouldn't say I use it not different from the other people, you know. But it's just that when I put out my songs, I'm just like a humble youth. Me no hype, me no boast, me no show off. Me always ask the people them kindly, please and thanks. You know, help me share the song to the world, because if we all look and see what's going on, there's negativity around the world. And I think this is a song that I put out in the right time to match what's going on right now. So when people listen to the song, you know, who never hear the song yet can go listen to Bones tomorrow morning.
I have a better idea, Glamaton. Why don't we listen to that song right now? So what I was thinking, I would love Glamaton introduce your song Negativity in your style. Don't sing it the same, you know, just go introduce it. We're gonna play it in studio here.
I got you, man.
You're right. So anytime you're ready, you introduce your latest single.
All right, to the world, Glamaton, I introduce this song called Negativity. And the reason for this song, people, is because when you pray life and negativity really around the world, because no care what the pastor preach and put it out, it no reach nowhere.
All right.
Man, come out, and do, you know what I mean? Come out and do a great song, it no reach nowhere. And as the negativity touch in social media, it get 1 million views. That's exactly what we're talking about.
All right. Let's hear Negativity.
Hey, easy. You know, see the world not easy. It's like your negativity and override the positivity of the youth, them mind these days. Me not like what me I see now. So you know me have to go talk about it. I don't care zero what people want to say. You know why me say that? Watch out. Negativity around the world. Mashing up the boy and all the girl. Negativity around the land, it a chop up and mash up the younger generation. That's wrong. Negativity around the world, mashing up the boy and all the girl. Negativity around the land, it a chop up and mash up the younger generation. Watch the free. If an artist come to a one culture and a pastor come read 2 chapter, you put it on social media. The 10 views and he pushing a corner. But make a man sing about drugs and gun. How the policeman bad pan him tongue. Y'all run out and a tell man. Don't the lane them one man before. 1 million views before the sun down. That me a talk about me can't see the phone. Don't take me down to my son. Them kind of thing that we done. Negativity around the world, mashing up the boy and all the girl. Negativity around the land, it a chop up and mash up the younger generation. That's right. Negativity around the world, mashing up the boy and all the girl. Negativity around the land, it a chop up and mash up the younger generation. Understand? Make we bring more positivity. And that she negativity a street cops. In the church negativity I preach now. In the school negativity I teach now. Babylon bring negative a street. Some serve and protect of them same one a do it. Look at one. Take a look on social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Take a look. All over TikTok and the negative views them gone pan top. And the positive one them drop. That we stop. So that me chop. So watch the shot. Boom. Negativity around the world. Mashing up the boy and not the girl.
Yes, sir. Negativity running the world. Yeah, that, you know, that is true. If you do something that is just normal, it really doesn't get much attention. But you do some crazy stuff, it gets all the views. And so this is what you've been seeing.
Do you find that frustrating, Glamaton?
Yeah.
What Bones just said. You find that frustrating? That negative
could you repeat that, Bones?
Negativity gets more attention.
Does that?
No.
No.
Not that me really find it frustrating, because it's what's going on, and you know, one man can't change the world. So it's like we know say it wrong, but what can I do? We only can talk about it, you know. Hoping that people would listen, come together and say, all right, this is right. Let's try change it. But without that, what we can do, we only can say a few words.
All right, Glamaton, a couple of things I want to find out from you. We had this discussion prior to you coming on about management. Do you have a management team? Tell us a little bit about that, and also give us your social media handles, how people can reach you.
Cool. Yes, well, management team, we have Terry, who is my road manager.
Yes.
And then you have Heavy D, who is my manager. You know.
Heavy D.
Yes, also be the man who deal with the bookings as well. You know, you have Debbie Lewis in the US, who is my booking agent as well.
Right.
You know, and that's pretty much my team with my engineer Keezy, and then you know you have my loyal people who support my music over the years with Glamaton.
Right.
For my social media now, you can check me out on Instagram at Glamaton. You know, Glamaton, and YouTube, Glamaton, just the same, and Facebook, it's Glamaton Mitchell.
All right.
Are you, in terms of live performances, where can we see you? Are you traveling for any events, or COVID has put a damper on your live performances?
So far, yes, but we do have things in the pipeline working on. You know, I can't say here or there or where, but you know, we have things in the pipeline working on for, I would say, next year. Because this year kind of look like it.
It look close. Tell us what's happening in Grand Cayman in terms of what is the COVID situation there like? Is it rampant, or it's quite open there? What's the vibe like in Grand Cayman?
Well, it is open, you know, but them have a limit and crowd now. It was 1,000, now it's down to 250. Because there's a few cases that arise up the other day, and they're taking care of that as well, because they're doing a good job here. You know, I must say, because it's not everywhere you have to wear masks, you know.
Right.
Once you're on the street, you're good. Only when you're going into certain building, they request for you to wear masks. So they're doing good. They're doing great, you know. Hope they keep it like that.
And how are you protecting yourself?
Well, as we do, sanitize your hand, wear your mask, and we try to stay away from much of the public as we can, because we have next year if we tour the world and we can't afford to get myself down right now.
I like that. Tell us.
All right, Glamaton.
All right, Glamaton, before you go, tell us a little bit about what else is in the pipeline musically. We have this single, Negativity. You have anything like an EP or an album or anything coming up?
Well, yes, me and my engineer and my manager was talking about that, you know, and them say, all right, Glamaton, here I am. Just leave albums until next year. Make we work on, because we actually have about 5 songs out there right now. We're doing great, you know.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So, but Negativity is the one. But Negativity is the one that you're pushing right now.
Yeah, Jamaican slang. You have no bad mind artists. I tell the artists them to stop fight against them one another and the business.
Good.
I don't know why they not do it, because the cake is big enough for everybody.
True.
Absolutely. Well, Glamaton, we wish you all.
Glamaton, thank you so much.
We wish you all the best, and thank you so much for stopping by, and you know, keep pushing and keep doing it. And we like how you are remaining resilient, you know, irrespective of realizing that negative things get the attention, but positive things do get the attention too. Just keep pushing.
Yeah, definitely. We're not stop. As we said, we won't quit because we need to be a winner. So we're not going to quit. And we love music. So we have to just continue to do some great music. You know? So before I go, I want to say big up to everybody at IRFM, you know?
Bless
big
up.
up to everybody all over the whole entire world, you know, who support and show their appreciation for glamour music. And the people them can just go and just 99 cents, you know, cost a lot. Buy a Glamaton song. You know, it doesn't matter which one you like. They're all out there on the platform. You know what I mean? And you can subscribe to Glamaton channel, YouTube channel, Glamaton. Follow me on Instagram, which is Glamaton. And show the love. I appreciate it. A million music.
All
We
right.
are continuing to do good music, Kashima. Bones, we are continuing to do good music.
I'm watching some of these comments coming up. So I'm glad you just said that. They said they love the single and they want to know where to get it. So, you know, it's on all digital platforms, right? It's ready.
Yes, it's on all digital platforms.
All right. Glamaton, thank you so much for talking to us. And of course, we wish you all the best with your future endeavors and keep the reggae music strong and high every time. See?
Mr. Bones, manners and respect. Miss Kashima.
All right,
All
big
the
up
love
Glamaton.
goes out to you.
All right, sir.
And,
Bless us.
and Kashima.
Yes.
The lagan sat the PA play negativity.
All right. I'm going to have to make sure I get it from Bones.
Yeah, man. I actually sent it to you, you know. I think it's in your email.
You did?
I think
all
so,
right,
yes.
I'll check it.
All right. So guess what? Respect Glamaton. Keep up the good work and take care of yourself and your family. Yeah?
All right.
Blessed love. Glamaton. All right.
Big up to Glamaton. I don't think I will forget how Glamaton got his name.
No, man. But you know, I never. Why?
That was really hilarious.
That's hilarious. I do believe that we should do a little bit of fashion forwarding at this particular point in time. What do you
Let's
say?
do it.
Let's go to fashion.
Shamara Preston and DJ Lollipop with What's Popping in Fashion Forward.
Catch him outside.
It's Fashion Forward, a weekly look into what's popping,
what's hot and what's not,
hip and trendy. It's the space for all things fashion. This week we talk Christian fashion. Christians are often scrutinized by what they wear and how they dress. But today we're going to put their concerns to bed.
Really need some church.
We have Sister Simone Brown Keys, fashionista, and she'll give us the 411 on how Christians should dress.
You know when we a Christian dress, unlike them who go to church.
No lollipop.
So Simone, tell us, how should Christians dress?
Well, first of all, following the Bible, it said we should be modestly dressed, but we need to be comfortably dressed.
All right.
Modestly dressed like us.
Well, you're not going to be wearing things that lollipop girls wear.
No other explanation needed. Simone, let's get deeper into it. What advice, though, do you have for a Christian that thinks, for example, something without sleeve isn't appropriate?
Well, something without sleeve isn't appropriate based on the rules of the church. Because my church, you can't wear things without sleeve, so we wear jackets. So again, it's based on your beliefs and the rules of your church. So go ahead and rock it. If you're not breaking any rules, and you can rock a no sleeve and go, girls, go ahead.
All right, any final words?
All right, my final words are, this is mainly for the ladies. We're out there, and yes, we're not going to be dressed in skimpy clothes, and we're not going to be wearing belly skin, but be comfortable in what you wear. If your church go for makeup, girl, go for your makeup. If they don't, go. Rock your natural face and you go in it. Put your lip gloss, fix up your hair nice. Natural hair is out there now. So if you're going to rock your natural hair, girl, go for it. If you're going to wear relaxed like myself, make sure it's well groomed. And gents, come on, man, trim up yourself and look good. Because what? We are Christians, but we're not cool.
I think Christians should dress holy and look like Christian. Because we never see Eve dress certain way, and we never see Mary dress certain way.
And I'm sure Mary was a hot girl, that's why angel visit her.
There you have it. Remember to keep it locked to this space for more fashionable updates. For Fashion Forward, I'm Shamara alongside
DJ Lollipop, the party fanatic.
See you next week.
All right, thank you there, Shamara Preston and DJ Lollipop for Fashion Forward. And big up to Simone Brown Keys.
Boys, Simone made her debut on that.
She did. She did.
Big up Simone every time. Our next guest, we want to make him feel very welcome. We want to say a special good evening and welcome to Twain Richardson, colorist and video editor. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
We're good. Thank you very much for making time to talk to us.
Twain,
tonight.
welcome.
Welcome,
you know, Twain is really a big deal.
He
He is the editor of the Netflix documentary. I know a lot of persons have seen it already. Britney versus Spears.
Yeah.
Quite a tearjerker if you sit down and watch it. But this is your first time on this space, Twain. So we want to get our listeners to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
So you have been in video post-production for over 10 years. Describe a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So my name is Twain Richardson. I own a post-production company by the name of Frame of Reference. And so we do video editing and color grading.
We want to make sure your audio sounds a little, we want to make sure we can hear you clearly. So tell us a little bit about how did you get into this business? Is this something that you wanted to do, or did you just stumble into it? But tell us
the story of how I got into post-production is a funny one. So I'm from Spanish Town. So even high school, I couldn't get any job. So we used to do our vending, just some like shoes polish. Shoes brush, wash brush, marina. And so I actually got a job as a data entry clerk at a company called Media Arts. Now at this company, they had a camera there. And so the guys there, they usually show me the camera. Now I wanted to actually be a civil engineer. I wasn't interested in production or post-production. So I was actually talking to my mom one evening about it. And she actually said, this is something that you can actually look to go into. But I wanted to do my civil engineering, so I wasn't paying it any mind. So she actually went and found CPTC, which had a production course. There was a 2-month production course. And so what happened is that she kept telling me to go under the course,
Right.
And so to get her to stop nagging me about it, I said, you know what, let me go and actually do the course. So I went and did the course. And so in the course, they actually teach about the different stages of a production, which is pre-production, production, post-production. And when we got to the post-production stage, actually fell in love. So CPTC said that, in a couple months, they're going to have a video editing course. And so I was still at Media Arts, and actually, so now every evening I would go home now because now I'm actually interested in post-production. So I'd actually watch the credits of movies. I would usually watch Hype TV every evening. I watch the editors. I'd see different editors' names going up, and actually wanted to, be like one of them.
Right.
So Hype TV actually had a competition, which the prize for winning the competition is you get to co-host one of their live events. I entered the competition and I won. So when I went there to actually do the live event, I met the owner, Johan. And I was telling him that, I actually applied for a camera position. So he said that he actually doesn't want a camera person, he wants an editor.
Okay.
Because I can edit, but actually didn't want to edit. And so he said that, when he can start. This was a Wednesday, so I told him I can start on Monday. By this time, I was working at electoral office. So the Friday, I quit my job at electoral office. And the Monday, I started working at Type TV. Not knowing what the head
was. Easy.
And years later, here you are. But, thinking about post-production, it just seemed like, hard work because then the video is shot and then your job now, you have to go through and cut up and put it together where, it flows smoothly. What about post-production you enjoy so much because it just seemed like sifting through a lot of content and hard?
What I enjoy the most about it is the story. As you said earlier, it's going through a lot of material and it's being able to find the story within that material. A lot of times persons would watch a TV show, they watch like a 20-minute TV show, but that TV show they actually probably shot like 20 hours worth of content. and having to go through that, finding the story and shaping that 20 hours down to 20 minutes. It's something I enjoyed.
Would you say that this job that you do now, is it your true passion? Is it something?
Yes, it is my true passion.
It is your true passion. For your friends, for people who are now getting to know you and the work that you do, is there something that people would be surprised to know about you? What do you like to do apart from doing your video editing and coloring and so on? What are some of your hobbies?
Apart from doing my video editing, I love playing tennis. I
What?
think in my other life, I would have been a tennis player.
Yeah, the Black John McEnroe, brother.
So the funny thing is, I didn't like tennis growing up, because when I used to want to watch cartoons, my aunt, she would always, be watching tennis, so I couldn't get to actually
watch your cartoons,
watch
right?
cartoons. I actually never liked it. But a few
To
years ago,
develop an interest.
a friend of mine introduced it to me a few years ago, and I fell in love with it.
But you know what I want to ask you, Twain, back to video editing. How do you know when you have aced a project? Like you said, you go through the content, you will go through 20 hours just for 20 minutes. But how do you know when you've aced it?
I know when I ace a project when I get viewer feedback. So usually I'll ask the clients, what's the feedback like, on the project, what's the viewership like. A recent project that I did, so we did the post-production for the Bears Hammond concert that was done earlier this year, and the feedback that I saw on Twitter, persons loving the show, and, like persons couldn't believe that it was actually not a live show,
Wow.
and so that feedback, is when you know that definitely the show was successful.
All right.
Britney versus Spears.
Yeah.
How did that happen? That connection.
How did that happen is, so I met a fellow Jamaican who's a colorist living in New York on Twitter about 6 years ago. So we started doing work together, remote work together. And so we developed a very good relationship. So last year, he was brought onto a documentary called I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And so he said to the producers that, he'd want me to join as his online editor. And so, they brought me on, and based on the work that we did on that project, how efficient we were, they brought us onto another project called All in the Fight for Democracy. That one is on Amazon Prime, which was actually shortlisted for Oscar this year.
Nice.
Wow.
So based on that project, they brought us on earlier this year to do another project called Becoming Costume. That one is for National Geographic. And then, again, based on the work that we did, the Britney documentary was coming up, and so they brought us onto that project.
One of the things I wanted to find out in terms of the mechanics of your job, let's get to the promotional part. We're hearing the things that you can do, and how can people reach you to get you to do their editing and coloring and so on? Is there, because what you're doing is artistry also, so do you have a management team? Do you have social media? Tell us a little bit of how we can reach and how to get you to do some work.
So the company is on all social media platforms. The handle is forpostcard.com. That's our website, and our Instagram, Twitter is forpostcard.
Okay.
Persons can reach out to us via the website, and of course the team will get back in touch with them.
How do you break down your work? So is there specific ways to do it? Meaning, you have a specific way of coloring or editing, meaning I do this for a particular thing. Is it a documentary? Is it different from doing a movie? Is it, tell us a little bit of the different types of editing that you'd probably have to do.
So first and foremost, the story comes first. So the aim is to actually tell the best story that you can. And of course, we can do it one way on this project,
right?
On a music video, but on a TV show, that workflow will have to change to adapt to that TV show. So again, every project is different. Every project, take on a different workflow. But we do have our workflows that, we adjust and for each project.
Awesome.
Have you ever worked on a complex project, and what was the outcome? Like the story wasn't that easy to tell, and of course you have like a timeline, a time frame to get the job done. How do you deal with those types of situations as a creative?
As a creative, you pull all-nighters. But yeah, we've worked on many projects with tight deadlines. And again, you just put your head down and get to work, get some Lucozade and get up some Arizona and get to work.
Because Bones could shoot something. Say Bones shot gather footage for a film.
Yes, because I don't really
and
like
then
to
he
shoot.
brings that footage to you for editing. So you weren't there, and you're not necessarily in his mind in terms of what he's trying to capture. But then it is you have all this raw content that you have to know bring to life. Each project, I'm sure you will have a different emotion that you want to convey. How do you get into that space in terms of the story you want to tell, and to ensure that the story that you choose to tell is the story, for instance, that Bones would want to share from that angle?
So the first thing is, of course, I'd have a conversation with Bones, find out what it is, is his plan, for the video. How long he actually wants the video. Is it that he wants a 2-minute video, a 5-minute video? Based on that, I'll go through the video, I'll scope through, and again, develop the story. Over doing it for a few years, I don't want to say that it comes easy, but it actually does come easy when you're used to doing something. Again, each project has its unique challenges, but doing it for a few years, I can fairly say, okay, we're having a conversation with Bones, I know that this is how I approach it, and how I get it done.
Awesome.
TV shows, commercials, and films. Share with us some of the major or popular projects that you have worked on.
So some of the major projects here that I've worked on. So we've done 6 seasons of the Innovators TV show.
Nice.
We've done the Rare and Different Contender. We've done, I think, 5 seasons of the Rare and Different Contender.
Wow.
We've done about 10 seasons of the Magnum Kings and Queens of Dancehall. Digital Rising Stars, I think we've done about 12 seasons for that. We've done commercials for Red Stripe, commercials for Digicel. We've done music videos for Beanie Man, Popcorn, Bounty Killer, Chance, you name it. But you name the musician here, we've done work with the Chronics. We've done some really weird. Of course, all of this can be seen on our website.
All right.
Awesomeness. Is it difficult working with entertainers as opposed to a film director or an agency?
So typically we don't actually have conversations with the entertainers. So for a music video, we have the conversation with the director. And so we'll try to get the director's vision down. The director now will relay back to the entertainer.
Right.
Every now and then, the entertainer will come to the studio. We get to sit, go through the videos. But majority of the time, since we're having a conversation with the producer or the director.
Okay.
No, I've actually haven't had any difficult, projects with any musicians there, actually. Thankfully, let's knock on wood.
And a lot of them like to show their acting skills. A lot of them, they're recording, but the visuals now, you see another side of the entertainer comes out. And sometimes they really want to get involved. They want to be like, I think I can do this a little better and so on. Does that happen? I know they normally discuss things with the director, but have they come to you, the editor, and say, there's a way I want this to go? Or is it strictly through the director?
It's strictly to the director. So my relationship is with the director. So the artist speaks with the director, and then the director relays the information to me. Again, as I said, sometimes the musician will come to the office and alongside the director, and then we'll go through and have a session. But 95% of the time, it's through the director.
Okay.
What major project are you working on now that we should look out for?
Well, I can't say because under NDA, but of course we have some major projects that we're doing there. So
local or international?
Most international. Both. Man say man that NDA. No, we not play. Big things, non-disclosure arrangement. Oh my goodness. Well, we're looking forward to seeing all the work that you have coming up. We're really looking forward. And of course, a lot of people would not have known who you are until you're here. We're glad that, we can expose these, because you're basically a lot behind the scenes in terms of doing
a lot, yes.
Yeah. Well, you come forward. We're not,
yes, now we get to see the face behind, the genius work that is being done. Was it challenging putting together the documentary Britney versus Spears, like the editing aspect of it, to tell the story and, ensure that you evoke the emotions in the process?
So my role on the documentary was the role of an online editor. So in post-production, you have the offline editor and the online editor. So the offline editor is the one who tells the story, who goes to and craft the story. They then pass that off to the online editor. Right. So I now have to take that story, recreate it, and prep it for the colorist. The colorist now goes in. He, for the lack of a better term, makes it look pretty. I then now take that and then I now export it for Netflix. In layman's term, I mean, it's way more technical, but in a way that persons can understand. That's pretty much it. It wasn't a difficult project. Usually on these huge projects, they're very organized, and also because we're working with a deadline. Usually we'll have certain deadlines that we'll have to meet. So we know that, okay, next 2 weeks we have to be at this stage in the project. And the next 3 weeks we have to be at this stage in the project. And again, based on the working relationship that me and you have, and the workflows that we built over the years that we worked together, the project was, pretty much a breeze for us.
Okay. Well, Twain, I tell you something. We want to thank you for all the work that you do. You have the unsung heroes who are in the background and they don't realize the amount of work that they have to do to make the product look the way that it does. So we're giving you your kudos. We say thanks for joining us tonight. Keep doing what you're doing. And of course, feel free to come back on the space and tell us what's new with you again.
When you can talk about it.
When you're not under an NDA. Then you can come in, feel free to come freely in and talk to us. Anybody want to big up before you go? Anybody want to make
yeah, man, for sure, man.
True.
Big up my mother, because of course if she never pushed me, I wouldn't actually get into it. Right. I have to big up my three auntie, Lataya, Melinda, Lucretia. I big up my cousin them, big up my sisters, my brother, my grandmother, my uncles, my grandfather, friends. Tennis friends, and of course, I have to big up my clients, because without them, I wouldn't have to get to gain the actual experience, so I can work on these huge projects. And of course, last but not least, big up my wife.
Sure. Should I big up first?
Twain, big up.
Twain, should I big up first?
Yes, Twain, you're gonna get it tonight.
Of course.
Make sure you don't have no kennel at your house, because there you go sleep. You don't want that.
Growing up with my grandma.
Yeah.
And my second mom, she always said that you save the best for last. So of course, you have to save the best for last.
I like that. You just save yourself. Twain, thank you so much for talking.
Thank you so much, Twain Richardson.
Enough love and honor and respect. Yes. All right.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. So somebody just texted, where can I see Britney versus Spears? It is on Netflix. You can check it out. And more big things coming from Twain Richardson. Once he's in a position to share with us freely, we will give it to you. But awesomeness, Bones, all in all.
All in all, thanks again, Twain. I wish you all the best with all your future endeavors. Right now, I'm getting a signal here. We're going to go to our IRA FM Top 10 Dancehall Chart recap with Courtney Mack and DJ Brian.
This is the Guinness Dancehall Top 10 Countdown.
I wonder who really run dancehall. Who really have the number one song?
All the youths them want.
Who run dancehall? Do you really want to know? Yeah!
Coming in at number 10, Lali, tipping at it. Number 9, Sell Off, Alkaline. Number 8, Chosen by Reticle. Number 7, Squash, Rocketeer. Number 6, Journey by 450. Number 5, Shensia, Run Run. Number 4, Special by Massacre. Number 3, 450, Imperfection. Number 2, Yahoo Boys by Intense. Ready for the number 1 song for this week. For the very first time on the Arabian Dancehall Top 10 Countdown. Feelings, Jada Kingdom, and Diani. Number 1.
Yeah. Like you know, remember me did one about up. Yeah. I made the belly this or something you know ready for. But like a temper man, you're different than a regular. I would it do this, my love, mother,
Big song of big song. The Guinness Top 10 charts is where it happens. Only big songs make this chart. Dancehall can't stand.
Dancehall love me everything.
All right, so that was the IRFM Top 10 Dance Hall Chart recap with Courtney Mack and, of course, DJ Brian. We do have a few minutes left. Feeling free to...
I think we should open the phone lines. It's been a minute, don't it?
Yeah. What do you think?
It's been a minute. Maybe they could weigh in on the discussion and share with us because, you know...
Yeah.
I am sure when there is also a manager for an artist, they will communicate and deal with fans, you know, differently as opposed to when they're just doing everything on their own, probably highly stressed out and don't have time even for fans.
Right. And namely that whole scenario with Jackie that happened in the Netherlands, I'm very sure if there was a management, a go-between between it, I don't think what has happened would have happened. So
no, definitely.
Wow, 9745051. I think that's a caller, you know.
9745043.
9745079 or 6180352. Caller, welcome. You're live. Go through, caller. We're hearing you. Hello? Hello, buzz through. Welcome.
Yeah, man, you're live.
Simon. So yes, Simon, you good? Yeah, all right. I'm good, my boss. Simon, where you calling from? Kingston.
Yeah, mate.
All right, Simon, we're going to ask you to turn your radio down and listen to the telephone. Listen to the phone itself.
Okay, let me get it down.
Yeah, you hear you start calm already. Yeah.
Simon, you're twanging a lot tonight. Is what going on?
Of some foreign place in Kingston in there.
Wait. But if you're a hot girl, I call Tommy. That made my thing a bird, my thing a bug.
Good night.
So we're saying we're having we had a discussion earlier, and you know we just want to get our listeners to be a part of it. Do you think entertainers should manage themselves? What do you think?
Maybe alright for this fear or from sometimes it depends on how your career going on because I have studied music, I think. So if the artist is like a fast track artist where he have more than one thing for do, you can get the management. But if you think low key and you're depend on your ones and two and you can easily take 1 and 2 bookings for say to how you think go. Yeah, him can manage himself, but if him thinks up to that speed, cash him way. More than one thing I forgot it done and so he might gonna need and then them say more time he gonna need to go over certain borders. Now like out there now, say I look at you boss now and him just start make a thing like him name's Killy Bang or Intense. Probably he must go get a management for kinda get him more play. Allow me to tell you one time I'm on the right track.
No, man, you're on the right track.
I'm just thinking that if you, as you say, if you think they're on a low and you can manage it yourself, I don't think your thing is going to stay on a low if you don't have a management to kind of grow the thing.
No, but I mean that early bones. I mean, if you cross over now, like say the cure, where the topic I come off, I say him have the money.
Right.
And it's not a really, I say a Chronics where him thing and move fast like Chronics where him have a band name Zinc Fence and have 3, 4, 5 artists to deal with. Him think kind of slow, so him have the money where him can easily go through and take 1 and 2 show. And yeah, well, I feel him could have done that. But maybe he don't know a certain thing or to a level where he want to go. Where he need that.
Okay.
Back to, but you're young, you're going to need that help there. If you're over there, you can do it me I say, so it will split both ways there. And that my take on the thing.
Oh, it's a hell of a
All
take,
right,
Simon. Thank you, sir.
Always good. Big up yourself and thanks for the contribution.
Okay.
Simon, you don't have nobody. You don't have nobody to big up. You always have people to big up, you know.
All right, but so since I give me the privilege, I do it wavy and fast.
Yes.
So, me I got big up DJ Bones first. You know, say from with you, Bones, I'm a feel bad. And you see it, you come catch me back and you are saying too, you know, say. So, Bones, we have to big you up, because I never big you up with the early birthday, and DJ Wade, and Sunshine, and Kashim. Go big up yourself. MC Teddy.
Yeah.
Big up yourself, Baba.
Blessings.
GT.
Yes.
Matrix. Mama, Wally for them. Rod. Dr. T. Mrs. Miller. Over on another side where I give me a little here more time on a program too. Dax, my young rapper over, so go on, still Venom out in the place and move them out now. And all the rest I want them so big up yourself. Teen back. Jad, Beckham, yeah, big up from with you. So I give it no one let it go. Cannabis, Richard from Mar Valley, and Timmons, big up on yourself. Earthworm, aka Earth Warrior, my classmate. Stay sir. Bones, big up yourself again and thanks. I'm not take no more right. DJ Matrix.
Blessings, Simon. Enough
All
love.
right, big up yourself, Simon.
Yes, Simon. Enough love. Respect every time. Simon.
All right, thanks for calling. So we're taking your reaction. We have enough time. Can take two more
I
or
think
perhaps
so.
one more.
Just about two or one more we can take. 974-5051, 974-5043, 974-5079, or 618-0352. Call us. Tell us if you have managed, if you think artists should manage themselves. Tell us what you think.
So far, it seemed to be like a general consensus, with persons just saying that, look, they should, once they're in a position, they should have proper management because, like we would have indicated earlier, a management team can prevent you from getting into hot water and also can help you maneuver difficult and bumpy roads along the way, as opposed to doing it on your own. People will always say 2 heads better than 1.
And I do believe we have a caller online. Buzz through caller, you're live.
Yeah, man. Blaze, make it burn it.
Blaze, make it burn
Big
it.
up, big
and we have a
up.
budding artist on the phone line right now. So, big up yourself, Shaka Warrior.
Yeah, man. Whoa, IVFM.
Shaka Warrior, do you believe, because you're an artist, because you're an up-and-coming artist, do you think you need to have a manager manage your career, or you feel like you need to do it by yourself? Do you think it's best for an artist to have a manager or a management team?
Yeah, man, it's good to have a management team, not manager alone. You see me, I say?
Yeah. Tell us why.
Management team, that means you as an artist can get time to go perform what you have to do. You see me, I say? Yeah, man, because I remember the last time Jack Karen come and I interviewed him, did I say? He might be him one producer. You see me, I say?
Right.
Yeah, I've been one in the studio and things, so feel like saying too big, so him alone can't do everything, or him have to go share the things still. You see me, I say?
Right. So, do you have a management team, Shaka Warrior? Because you're an artist.
Yeah, man, I'm an artist, but I don't bust out that way yet, so you don't know.
So, you do believe it's very important that artists have a management team?
Yeah, man, if you have a management team, and if you cure me have a management team, you have to do no talking. You see me, I say?
Right, that's so true.
And I like how you put it too, Shaka, because you're not just saying have a manager, but have a management team, which is important because
just doing the music.
You
get time to make more. You see me, I say?
Right.
And even focusing on the music, it doesn't mean that you still shouldn't use time to understand the business of the music so you can know what is happening. So, you still have, as the entertainer, still have to create that necessary balance so you understand the business side and you can also focus on creativity. You almost have a bird's eye view of what is happening and how your career is progressing and the direction it is going in and if your goals are being achieved.
Yeah, man, that's true, man, because you alone cannot do it.
No time.
Yeah,
you need
always.
a whole management team, Just
Yeah.
like IFM have a whole management team. You see me, I say?
Well, I tell you this. I tell you this.
Big up Shaka, yes.
You don't really see a one-man band can perform for a very long time because he has too many things to play, too many instruments. He's on, he's doing the guitar, he's singing, him playing a little rumba. It sounds good for a while, but the man who is doing it is going to be overwhelmed with the amount of tasks that he has to do. So it's very important that you have a management team, people to help you with certain aspects of your career. Shaka Warrior,
reality,
thank you so much. Anybody you want big up? Anybody you want big up, Shaka?
Yeah, man. Whoa, big up the Empress Janet. That's what I say. Bless up yourself to DJ Bowen. Kishima, bless up yourself.
Yeah, man. Bless up. Big up.
That's what I say. Yeah, man. I'm bless up Rebo, Dave, the whole work. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bless up the whole of the Brownstone Market. Bless up Warren, man. And bless up all of the people in the market. That's what I say. Whole of Philadelphia. That's what I say.
Right.
Churchtown. That's what I say.
Sin.
Yeah, man, I'm going to bless up MC Teddy too. You see me, I say?
Teddy, where you say youth? Big up yourself, MC Teddy.
Yeah,
all
man,
right, big up yourself,
Shaka.
Shaka.
Bless up Father Foley. Bless up Moskine. You see me, I say? Whoa! You don't know. DJ Bones are out there, we say, you know.
Up there, brother. Take care of yourself and be safe. Yes, sir.
Please, make me burn it.
I wonder if we can take one more.
I say take one more. Do it.
Let's do it. 974-5051, 974-5043, or 974-5079, 618-0352. We're going to take this final call before we close things and get ready for Mutabaruka with the cutting edge. That's going to be coming up next.
And Facebook. Buzz through calling you live.
Welcome, caller. Buzz through.
Good night, Boone.
Good night. How are you, sir?
Good night.
Just relaxing my bed. I listen to you guys.
What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, your brethren down there calling man, Denzi from St. Elizabeth.
Oh, yes, brethren. Bless up yourself every time. Do you think that artists should have a management team?
New marketing.
In brethren, do you think that the artists should have a management team? What are your thoughts?
I think it's difficult. It's a difficult thing. You are trying to do something by yourself, and you have to do paperwork. Somebody have to. It's difficult, but
it's difficult. So they need to have a management team.
Get around, what I mentioned after it. You can't move everything you have to do by yourself to push out the work.
Right.
Local artists, a lot of place perform, and when you take it out, the promoter and the promoter, the person who know the business, push you on.
Right.
Man over man, you know.
Right. So.
When you think you can.
So you believe that artists need a management team? Your signal is not so clear where we are. We're not hearing you so well. Are you still there? I'm hearing a beeping, so I'm wondering if we lost him.
I think we've lost him. Like there is just a beep. But in essence, he's saying that definitely yes to having a management team for entertainers. And not only that, but I think in everything we do in life, not just in entertainment, but when you listen to success stories, like you hear of a team. You haven't heard a success story where I did everything by myself and on my own without any assistance. Right. The narrative is always a team getting assistance, getting help, and having a management team like we're discussing now, Bones, is vital, it's crucial, and it is absolutely necessary, and it could have saved Jacure from such an unfortunate situation that he has landed himself in.
I think that's a good way to put a cap on things. We're pretty much out of time. So we're going to say a special thanks to everyone who made the EBUZZ possible. We want to say thanks to our guests who came on, our music artist, Glamaton, also to our main artist, or he's definitely an artist. We want to say big up to, is that Twain Robinson? Yeah, big up. Yeah, big up to
video
Twain.
Editor and colorist, doing big things. And like you mentioned to him, Bones, we will keep our listeners in touch, with what he's doing. And we're happy that we're able to showcase him on this very platform.
We want to say a very special thanks to the entire team making the EBUZZ possible. We want to say special thanks to our production assistant, Jody Ann Dawkins, our technical operator, DJ Lollipop, studio engineer, DJ Kamar, and of course our telephone operator Jody K. Tucker, and of course our social media specialist Peter Broadbab. Why have to Peter name separate, man?
Yes, big up yourself, Peter. Big up to the entire team. Big up Jody, keeping me posted.
Right.
Well, that's our time. I'm Kishima Francis.
And I'm DJ Bones. Join us next week for another exciting edition of the EBUZZ. Muta Baruka is up next with the Cutting Edge. We're out.